You are now about to witness the awesome crushing light of the Eugene S Robinson Show. I used to make the kid cry. When you were a little baby. Not anymore. Not anymore. Right about. Welcome, my friends, to a show that's beginning to never end. This is 353. 353. Eugene S. I'm your host, Eugene S. Robinson. Singing your sins every single week since 2007. Bob Riley from Stig Bob. The record, The Calling of the Just. The song, Intro, All of Nothing. Still available in Revelation Records in Huntington Beach, California. When they shoot you to death in a nightclub, they get the call with a hammer. And they run your mayor pro tem out of town and hook it up to some better restaurant in Central Florida somewhere. And let's let Bob stick a band to the words stay at all. The temple music to end all sentences. Listen. Listen well. I'm on my way back to nowhere. Yeah. But I could not see too clear, but I'm taking a real good look at you. I'm taking a real good look at your face. I'm way back to there, so please stay back and forth. Always nothing. And mind up, right back. Here we are. Is this actually 353? I don't know, because I put it up, then I have to go live, and then I don't really see it again until after the show is over, my man. My friend, there we go. So, there we go. I think that's, yeah. Oh, hold on. There. Now it doesn't sound like I'm in a, yeah. Yeah. Hey, she dresses herself every time, and she is fashionable to the nines. She got a tutu on, and the tie and the necklace. Yeah. Sharp looking. Everybody goes crazy for a sharp dressed kid. So yeah. The kiddo, that kiddo 3 now? No. This is kiddo 4, and she's 4, soon to be 5. My grandson has a birthday, and he's 7 in a couple of weeks, pretty soon. I sadly can't go to San Diego for the party, but that's neither here nor there. One, I want to send some congratulations out to you know who you are. I had a couple subscribers come via Substack for the show, so thank you. It's not just TM. We're not just all riding back on the back of TM to keep this thing afloat, to get June her money. I got it to her a little bit sooner this time. What does it say? We got paid. Okay, got a house. Yeah, man. Yeah. No. Her age, she's 4, soon to be 5. But anyway, let me get focused here, just a little bit, because some of you may have had a chance to read the Substack before I wrote it, and I woke up at 2:52 last night and couldn't go to sleep. Because I was like, man, it should. I want to do it on fascism and Nazism. Take a drink, but everybody's doing that, and realistically, the Substack is supposed to be what I've been obsessed with that week before, and I've been obsessed with everything the 96 mil. But then a guy in jiu-jitsu says to me, it's always given me pause before and said something to me along these lines that other people have said. My mother said it to me as well when I was laughing at somebody else's misfortune. And what she said and what this guy said to me at jiu-jitsu is fundamentally the same thing as don't laugh too hard. Don't laugh too hard. And I always take that to heart, along with the saying, don't paint a picture of the devil on the wall. You know, bad stuff will find you easily enough without you, Kenneth Anger's invocation of my demon brother, without doing any invocation at all. Right. So then I said, well, what should my attitude and bearing be? I said at one point with the fugitive, with the financial fraudster, Carlos Watson, I said, as long as there's strength left in my arm, I'm going to knife this guy as often as I can, figuratively speaking, until I am exhausted doing so. And then I started to think, well, I've just written about it. That's not putting a knife in anywhere. Well, isn't it? Or is it? I don't know. But Kenneth Anger is great. But I'm confused a little bit. I'm confused. This was an incredible large amount of money, and I read the entire court deposition about the thing that they kept getting bumped over. He's all confused, and the bumbling, fumbling Keystone cops that were his legal defense, and the woman putting up that he's a modern day Emmett Till, which I found. I don't get easily offended, but that was just such a stupid take. Yeah, because it begs a response. Yeah, I guess you're right. If Emmett Till was a financial fraudster, yeah, that would be exactly like that. You know, so you can get that if you want to sing, because it go. No, I don't mind. It just goes right into my microphone. Take your leg out. There we go. So I don't want to be too gleeful. But the dude owes me money. Shane Smith from Vice also owes me money, and I'm relentless with him too. Every time I see that guy make a public statement, somehow if I could get it over the transom, I'm like, yo, where's my money for the Vice guy to sex, drugs, and rock and roll? Don't think you guys are gonna keep doing that and publishing, and I'm not gonna keep asking about it because I know you sold a lot of that book, and I know you may still be selling it. Hey kid, I'm sorry. If you want to go outside and sing, you can do it. But I'm doing the show, right? Come back in when you finish singing. So his mom is out today, he's doing God knows what. So this is where we are. You got to deal with it. So mom, who complains about me at the time I spent out jiu-jitsu, it's not the show for domestic airing. So I'm at jiu-jitsu I get up at 6 and I get back at 9:30. And nobody in the house is awake until 8. So that's fundamentally an hour and a half of absent dad time in the morning, up against hours and hours. And I'm not gonna get into it. Yeah, that Vice book's so pretty. Yeah. Oh yeah, you notice that I got a derby on. Yeah, it's pretty nice. I like it. Yeah, exactly. Very modern day Emmett Till. And I put it up there and I was like happy that it stayed up a few days and that people were liking it. People who, look, there are a lot of people who like Dave Chappelle said about the O.J. Simpson thing. It's like, the justice system is like, he felt largely that the guy did it like a lot of other people, but, also largely, what are you going to get upset because there's one got away? Okay. Well, this is different. And the Watson thing is totally different. You use that Clarence Thomas line that worked for Clarence Thomas. It should never have worked for Clarence Thomas. You, sir, when you can show me your gouged out eyes and that you were shot and drowned for whistling at a white woman, then you tell me that you're like Emmett Till. But until then, don't. So I post this thing. If you read the Substack, you know what happened. And it stayed up until this morning. And I was like, okay, despite my early morning wake up, I'm like, I'm going to get up and start writing now. You made the decision for me. Because there's Steve Bannon, giving another. I mean, the thing is that a Nazi salute? Everybody's getting kind of casual. They're like, yay, take a drink. Yay. I mean, at this point, you don't raise your arm like that, especially if you're at a rally ignorant of the implications, but I don't want to talk about that because I wanted to talk about the $96 million. And if you think all of that lying to the bailiffs about you having I don't have a phone, and then the phone rings, and then you go like, oh, which is what he did in the court. Think it's a joke? I got a few people who don't think it's a joke. You militating for a Trump? What do you call it? Where clemency? It's a Trump judge that you've been messing with. Why is he going to come in and give you clemency? I got it. Why don't you ask Lorene Powell Jobs for clemency, or Ron Conway, or Mike Moe, or any of the guys, people that you grifted out of all the money that you got, or me? Ask me for clemency. I now listen. Somebody when I left there, I think I was making $120,000 a year. Right? That's the end. I started 10 years earlier making $70K. Right? And over 10 years from 70 to 120. Somebody who's good at math, maybe Finley Beaton is here, could do this. Okay. So for the entirety of the time when COVID started till they fired me in June of 2021, they had cut my salary 19%. So somebody needs to figure out, I want to get the exact amount, what 19% of $120,000 for a year and a half would be. So let's just see, $120,000, 60, that's $180,000. 19% of that is how much? Oh man, I should be able to figure that out. Come on, I'm not that much of a financial idiot here. So let's just do the math. Okay, so 18 months, what is this? 18 months, 120, 60, 180,000, 180,000 times 19 divided by 100. Yeah, I was close. $34,200. I said 37 just to be on the safe side. That's how much that prick owes me. So that's what I did. I got up and I wrote the Substack. And then when I linked to it, I was like, man, I've been writing my ass off about OZY. But one, I got the podcast documentary people who read my stuff and somehow always get filled in with stuff I forgot to tell them in each one. So it serves as kind of show notes for the upcoming podcast and documentary, but as well as why not? Why not? You know, these got this guy Glenn Martin on the Twitter machine that's always, this is a miscarriage of justice, pretty much fundamentally every day saying the same thing to little or no response. But I just don't like that it's out there. I want there to be at least one voice where you could say, I just don't want I want to be a pebble in the shoe of this narrative that this was a good man who was undone by an evil, imbalanced, racist justice system. And there are plenty of people who could make that claim. The Watson character is not one of them. So that's what it was going to be. Forget fascism and Nazism for half a second. It's going to be this other one. Exactly what it was. And keep in mind, the reason why there's no pub date yet on the documentary as well as the podcast, because the bets are out versus absconding before March 28th when dude's got to turn himself into prison. Now, I don't know, white-collar crime, they don't arrest you right away. They figure you're not a present threat to the community. You're under house arrest, can't leave his house, can't leave Mountain View, can't leave the country without a passport. But I still think absconding is a strong possibility. Yeah, I can. I'm doing the show. So a strong possibility. That's what I think. However, we're going to wait because God forbid we should go live with the show on March 28th and then the dude runs. He's a runner. And then we got a different story and then we look like asses. So I think they're going to wait till we figure it out. But I was just offended by it. And I don't get easily offended. I do not get easily offended. But in this instance, I was a little bit offended that we're going down you really did that. I didn't just imagine, like I've imagined a lot of things. The next day I go, hey, did that really happen? But this, come on with that. So God knows how much Vice owes, and Watson approximately owes me $34, $35, $36, $37,000, somewhere in there. And this is not even, I mean, I didn't purchase any of my stock options, so that was not a serious investment for me. And I think back with mucho chagrin, and this is all significant somehow to you because I've been talking about this for years of doing any of the shows that from Knuckle Up to whatever that show was, that the first one that we did on wow, I can't remember that, on Bloody Elbow. What the hell? Oh, wow. I got, if one of you, what was the first show we did with Kid Nate and Alexi? For the life of me, can't, not, has it always been If the Shoes Fit, or what was it before then? I don't remember. We had three. We had Care Don't Care, If the Shoes Fit, and there was a third one that I don't remember. If I did it, if I did it, that's right. So that kind of went by the wayside. And, but listen, you know, I don't think that what I'm doing right now constitutes laughing. This is the day the laughter died. The dude who goes off to jail, that's it. That's it. We're done. Fundamentally, the game is over. But I think this is a stratagem that he was a fool for thinking it would work, that the stratagem would work. And we're seeing the foolish, you know, the crossing swords with the judge and the judiciary for the entirety of the trial. We see the foolishness of those ways, as well as continually hiring and firing counsel, overriding your counsel because you're an attorney, because you know everything. I do think it's time to raise a possibility, and I don't say this in an exculpatory way, that the person we're dealing with in this instance, Carlos Watson, might have mental health issues. And I'm not talking about just depression. Right. So, but that's neither here nor there. Keep in mind, I at this point am not like Billy Squier in that Tonight I Want to Rock You Tonight, which is a joke. That's the Spinal Tap song. But he was castigated by a reviewer for grimly humping the floor in this video that Billy Squier video from the 80s. And I think my attitude in bearing at this point, like Drax the Destroyer, is grimly. That describes my attitude in bearing. I do not enjoy, like I said, I asked for $500,000. My agent was trying to sell the OZY story as a book, Employee Number One, the rise and fall of OZY. And I said, whatever, I'll let you know going into negotiations that my fee for this will be $500,000. And he laughed. I go, you can keep laughing, but you can't say you weren't warned. For me to spend the rest couple years of my life back in that world writing, I do not want to do it. $500,000 is the price. Don't want to pay that. Get some other clown to do it. Because now we know it can't be Watson, because he's got $96 million to pay, and they will attach all of his monies in order to get that debt paid. Okay, so it could be Susie Hahn was just there for a couple of years. It's not going to be her. Samir could be the one who wrote the competing book. I was employee number one, but that was employee number one. Dude was a co-founder. He was there before I was there. And I think he can benefit from it, but maybe conditions of his thing are that he can't. I don't know. So keep in mind, I'm not, like you hear me say before, I'm not complaining, I'm noting. And this instance, this piece about OZY, I am not complaining, I am noting. I'm not exulting in the misfortune and downfall of another, I am noting. And it's a think piece. It was on my mind for a week, so I had to talk about it. And there is something I do reference, and I was going to put up the picture from September 18th, 2018, where he told me that if I went and played that weekend, went and played a festival in North Carolina for which they were going to pay me $5,000, that I wouldn't have a job on Monday, and I didn't go. And he canceled the meeting that made me cancel the show just to prove a point. And that was a point at which I said, as long as there's strength left in this arm, I will keep stabbing. That's all I got. Boom, there's the alarm. So this is 3, 5, 3. I mean, you just run the show. Try not to die between this week now and next week. Otherwise, we'll see. And be glad. Like when I was driving down the street with Winwell, I'll tell you how I knew. A lot of ways I knew. And I was the craziest guy in Winwell. There's a guy walking down the street. Maybe Ken Donna Shalane on my own show. Maybe I told us last week. He's fumbling and he's fumbling. He's fumbling and he's fumbling. He's dropping his stuff. And the first thought in my mind was, hey, we should beat that guy up. Like, what? And I go, because up until this point, that guy thought he was having a really bad day. If we beat him up, he'll know his day has gotten worse, and he'll appreciate how it was better before we beat him up. I actually didn't share this with the Italians. I kept it to myself in my own head because it was too crazy to make any sense to anybody. So that's the way it is here. Try not to die between now and next week. We're going to go eat something. I'll talk to you soon. Don't die. Live what you made me do. Don't die, bloody. I'll leave it up for an extra hour because you guys showed up late. All right, man. Be careful. Don't die.